All right, y'all, DMR, today's your last day of practice. Tomorrow is your quiz. So let's make sure you are asking questions on items that you do not understand. Okay, here we go. Number 1, what is the name of this solid figure? This is a sphere. Okay, it is in fact a ball, but a ball is not the name of a solid figure. A ball is the name of a child's toy. So we look at the name of the mathematical term, which is sphere. Questions on that? Okay, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2, we are taking a look at money, money, money. Derek bought a paintbrush for $4 and 2 cans of paint for $20 each and a drop cloth for $9. Question is, what is the total cost of Derek's purchase? And Miss Bram read my mind. That's what I was getting ready to draw. Her picture is going to be a lot prettier than mine, so feel free to look at hers. He got a paintbrush, and that was $4. He got 2 cans of paint. There's a can of paint. It's a cylinder. There's a can of paint. It's a cylinder. And each one costs $20. 20, 20. And a drop cloth, which is the thing that goes on the floor so you don't spill paint on your carpet, was $9. What is the total cost? Well, we've got to add all 4 of these items up. And that looks like this. 4 plus 20 plus 20 plus 9. And that is going to give us a total of 4 plus 0 is 4, plus 9 is 13. Carry your 10, put down your 3 ones. 10 plus 20 is equal to 50. So the total cost was $53. Other questions? Yes, William.
You did a two-way problem.
What do you mean by two-way problem?
I mean a two-way solving problem. Because you did the picture problem, and then you did the equation.
I see what you're saying. I represented my work in 2 different ways. I did indeed. Thank you, sir. All right, back to geometry. Give the best geometric description of the figure below. I notice that these 2 figures have arrows at the end. That means they are lines. They go on forever and ever. I also notice that they are intersecting or crossing at this point. So right there, they are touching. That means these are 2 intersecting lines. Yes, Terrence.
I picked it and it said it was wrong.
Must not have picked it right. Might have gotten parallel, and these aren't parallel. All right, next up, choose all. You get it? Okay, good. That apply. And look over here, it says all is 2 points. Okay, so there's 2 of them. Which of these shapes has only 1 set of parallel sides? That would be shape A. The top and the bottom are parallel. That would be a shape F. The top and the bottom are parallel. And that's it. D doesn't have any parallel line, or G, I apologize, no parallel lines. And all of the others have 2 pairs. Questions? Okie doke. Next up, time. What time does this clock show? The hour hand is past the 8. It is not yet to the 9. So it is still 8 o'clock. So goodbye 9, goodbye 9, goodbye 9. Oh, that only leaves 1 answer. Oh my gosh. Let's see if it's correct. We're right on the 9. Right on the 9 is the minute 45. So sure enough, it is 8:45. Questions? Okay. Next up, what time will it be in a quarter of an hour? Well, it is currently 8:45, and we know that quarter, like on a dollar, there's 4 of them. We also know that quarter is another word for fourth. If you cut it into quarters. So I'm going to cut my clock into quarters. Right now, our minute hand is right here. They're saying in 1/4 of an hour, it'll be at the 0. When it goes to 0, it's a new hour. So it will now be 9 o'clock. Questions going once, questions going twice, questions going 3 times. Yes, Terrence.
Guess what?
Don't know.
While you were saying oh, I muted my audio.
Good man. You're thinking smart. William, I don't know why I'm dancing today. I just feel like dancing today. So, oh, I want to dance with somebody. What do you know about that? Nothing. You don't know nothing about that. All right, here we go. Activities on Seesaw. Are you
Screen
ready?
sharing.
Huh?
Screen sharing.
I know. That's what I'm doing right now. There you go. Yesterday, we took a look at what is measurement as a big picture. We looked at all of the different ways you can measure. You can measure length and height using your inches and feet. You can measure weight using pounds. You can measure time in ways we've already discussed. And what's the one I'm forgetting? Wait, measure. Oh, and temperature. You can measure temperature, like when you take your temperature if you got a fever, using degrees, okay? I told you after we looked at big picture measurement, now we're going to start looking at one type of measurement at a time, okay? The first type of measurement we're going to look at is length, okay? So if you would, go ahead and click on that add response so we can look at your specific goal for today. Here is your goal for today. Please listen as you pull up your copy of the assignment.
Today we will be focusing on the skill of choosing and using appropriate units and tools to estimate and measure length. Today our focus will be on measuring length to 1/4 of an inch and estimating the length of an object to the nearest 1/4 of an inch. Today we will also discuss the appropriate tool to measure length, and today that tool is a ruler.
Okay.
In your discussions today, you should be talking about these vocabulary words: length, ruler, inch, measure, and estimate.
All right, so we've got our vocabulary. Some of those will sound familiar to you because we used them when we looked at area and perimeter, okay? Some of them are new. We're going to explore the topic with a video to launch us, questions to discuss, okay? When we're done, we're going to talk about these questions. What do you know about using a ruler? Does it matter where we line up the object? And how do you know how long an object is? Okay. First question, what do you know about using a ruler? I'd like to hear from you right now. What do you guys already know about using a ruler? Anything at all that you know? Yes, Levin.
Sometimes it's hard.
Huh?
I said that most rulers go up to at least 1 foot long.
Good. If it is a true ruler, it's going to be 1 foot. If it is longer than 1 foot, we call it a measuring tape or a yardstick or something of the like. But yes, it is going to be a 1 foot mark. William, what do you know about rulers?
What I know about rulers is they come in different sizes and they can measure different things.
Yes, we can use rulers to measure many different things. Some rulers are big and fat. Some of them are super skinny. They're all going to be 12 inches if it's a true ruler. Other measurement objects can be larger. Leah, what do you know?
That a foot is 12 inches.
Very good. So 1 foot, we've used the word foot so far. A ruler is 1 foot. That means it has 12 inches on that whole foot. Great. Aiden G, what do you know about rulers?
So I know about rulers that it can be many different rulers, and there can be foot, yard, and inches.
Good. We can use the words foot, yard, and inches when talking about feet. Very good. Daniel.
You use a ruler when you're moving. You draw a line on it, and then you break it.
Yes. So we can also use rulers to draw straight lines or to measure the line of an object or the line segment of that object. Thank you, Daniel. And Terrence, what do you know about rulers?
I know that you can use rulers to measure things.
They do measure things, okay? And the thing that they measure is the length, okay? Or how long, wide, or tall something is. Great warm-up. Okay, the last two questions are going to be after the video. Does it matter where we line up the object? I want you to think about this. It's a yes or it's a no. And I want you to tell me why. Does it matter where we line up the object? And how do you know how long an object is? Okay, please watch and listen. I'm sure we have an ad. Woo, monster math. Pick your grade level. I have the ads memorized. That's bad, y'all. Okay, here we go.
Using a ruler to measure.
Too quiet. There we go.
Using a ruler to measure inches. Can you help me learn to measure? Here's my problem. I wanted to figure out the length of my pencil. I tried to measure correctly, but I kept getting different answers. Let me show you what I did. My first try, I got 6 inches. Do you see something wrong? My second try, I got 8 inches. Do you see something wrong? On my third try, I got 18 inches. Do you see something wrong? Oh, I think I understand. So I have to make sure I line up the object with the ruler. I have to start right at 0, and I have to pay attention to the unit to make sure that I'm using inches and not centimeters. Okay, so let's see. I put my pencil straight across the ruler. I started right at 0, and I made sure that I was using inches and not centimeters. So the pencil is 7 inches long. Awesome! Thanks for helping me learn how to measure.
You're welcome. All right, now you are going to go hop into those breakout rooms. Does it matter where we line up an object? And how do you know how long that object is? Does it matter where we line it up? And how do you know how long it is? Question was, does it matter where we line the object up on the ruler? I want to see your answers physically now. Thumbs up for yes, it matters. Thumbs up for no, it doesn't matter at all. Does it matter where we line up an object? What do you think? Thumb up for yes, thumb down for no. Awesome. Maro, Camille, I can't see your thumbs.
Boo.
That's right. Boo. Peer pressure, peer pressure, peer pressure, peer pressure. Camille! Okay. All right. So the answer, as I'm glad to see you say, is yes. Okay. The reason, let's take a look here. Oh, come back on there. I saw your face for a moment. Lovely. Thank you. The reason, take a look here. This time it is lined up with the 0. Okay. They did a nice job getting it right at that 0. The problem is we're not measuring the whole pencil because it's not laying flat. So it matters if we line it up flat against the edge. Okay. We also see a problem right here. This time they lined it up with 1. So we're missing a whole inch. Okay. So if we scoot that back, the measurement's actually going to stop at 7 inches because it's going back that inch. Okay. Then finally, this time they lined it up on the centimeters. There's so many ways to go wrong with a ruler. It has to be on the inches when we're working on this goal and standard. Okay. William, something to add?
I have a question, and I'm confused about it.
Okay.
Can you go back to the video thing?
Can. Here you go.
Because when it's like that, when it's on centimeters, it looks weird.
What do you mean by it looks weird?
Because is it still 7 inches?
It is still 7 inches, and let me prove it to you. Here's our inches, right? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yes, it is still 7 inches. It's just we started counting somewhere else. So it would be like this, William. Okay. Right now, I am 5'6". If I stand on this chair, I am still 5'6", but I'm just standing on a chair. I'm in a different place. So the length does not change. That's why it's
That's dangerous.
important. It is dangerous. Don't try it at home, kids. That's why it's important to line up on your correct spacing at your 0 for where it begins. Okay. You wouldn't go to the doctor's office and when they say, all right, I'm going to see your height, you wouldn't say, hold on, and go get a box and then stand on it. That's not your true height. The same thing happens when we do this. The same thing happens when we don't line it up at 0. This is like this pencil saying, hold on, let me get a box. And they made themselves taller. They took themselves to 8 inches. This pencil is not 8 inches. It's 7. They just put a box underneath the eraser. An imaginary theoretical box. Okay. Great question. Yes, Levin.
4 inches taller than me.
Huh?
You're 4 inches taller than me.
I don't think I'm 4 inches taller than you.
I'm 5'2".
Really? I feel
Yes.
like you were a lot taller than that.
Nope. I'm
Nah.
I remember.
5'3" maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go closer to 5'3". I remember you being almost my height. Look at our length conversations. Kiddos, doing great. All right. Second question. How do you know how long an object is? How do you know? When you line it up on a ruler, how do you figure that out? Let's take a look at it. How do you know?
5 foot.
Say it again, Terrence.
I'm 5 foot.
Oh, thank you, but that doesn't answer my question. How do you know how long an object is? Yes, Terrence?
You know how long an object is by counting on how many spaces or how long the pencil is.
Look at the spaces vocabulary coming back from the number line. Okay, a ruler is simply a number line. So we're going to count the spaces, and on a ruler, those spaces are called inches. Okay, this is 7 spaces or 7 inches from tip to tip. So we would say this is 7 inches. So you look at where the object stops when it is lined up correctly. Wonderful. Okay, let's hop to some practice, okay? I'm going to ask you to hop to slide 3. Miss Renale in this video is going to show you how to use a ruler virtually, okay? So we might know how to use them at home, but we haven't done it virtually. So this is how you can use that ruler virtually.
Let's talk about how to use a ruler in 3rd grade. Here you see an example of a ruler. Let's talk about what we notice. In 3rd grade, we're going to measure the length of an object using inches. I notice this word inch. If I can read it correctly, that means I'm going to be using this side of the ruler to measure in inches. I notice that it starts with 0 and the numbers increase until I get to 12 inches. I also notice that there are some other numbers on the other side. So what is that about? Well, when we have a ruler, if we turn the ruler upside down, sometimes people will use the other side to measure in a unit called centimeters. The cm stands for centimeters. We are not going to be measuring in centimeters during math this week. We're only going to be using inches. So if you are given a ruler, you want to check that you are measuring on the correct side. One easy way to tell is to check that it ends with 12 on the side that you are using. So how can we use a ruler? Well, let's pretend that I want to measure the length of this blow pop. And I'm going to use inches, so I need to put it on the correct side. So how can I do this correctly? Well, we noticed in the video that you don't want it to be angled like this because that won't measure the whole length. You want to line up, sort of make a parallel line with your object and the ruler. There we go, we can see this better. And it's really important that you start the edge of your item with 0. So I notice right here that 0 is not at the edge of my ruler. I have a little bit of space here. A mistake that some third graders make is that they put the object all the way to the edge. But now we're not going to be measuring it correctly. So how to use a ruler? You want to line up the edge of your item or object with 0. Let's do a check that these line up. Oh, not quite. I need to move my lollipop a little bit further over. Now I'm going to check to see if it's lined up correctly. There we go. That looks good. So now I know a little bit more about how to use a ruler, how to line up the object correctly, lined up with 0, and to make sure it's a parallel line to my ruler so that I can easily read how long the item is.
Okay. I want you to make sure that you saw the way Miss Renelle was spinning around that ruler. You're going to be able to do that too. Sometimes we're going to give you the ruler like it would be if it was on your desk at a diagonal or upside down. And you're going to need to manipulate and spin that to the correct position. Okay. Tomorrow, we will be taking notes on this pattern. So tomorrow, make sure you have your notebook, your math notebook. We're going to be adding notes about this pattern. Okay. Bring your notebook. All right, here is the pattern.
A ruler has 12 inches total. The large numbers you see are marking each inch from 1 to 12 inches. You can think of a ruler like a number line. It starts with 0, and then the numbers increase as you move to the right. Today, we're going to zoom in on 1 whole inch. We're going to look at the tick marks that we will be using in 3rd grade. On the left is 0. On the right is 1 inch. Between 0 and 1 inch, you will see lots of different tick marks. The tick marks that you are expected to know in 3rd grade are what we're going to discuss today. This tick mark is 1/2. If you look from 0 to 1, I notice that it is partitioned into 4 equal sections. The first tick mark after 0 is 1/4. If we add another 1/4, that would be 2/4 or 2 1/4. We know because of fractions, 2 1/4 is equivalent to 1/2 inch. If I add another 1/4, this tick mark is called 3 1/4. If I keep going to my 1 whole, it would be equivalent to 4 1/4. These are the tick marks we're going to use when we measure using a ruler and measuring in inches. When I look at this 1 inch zoomed in on a ruler, I feel like I have seen this before. 0, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1 whole. That sounds familiar. How can we use our knowledge of fractions to help us using 1/4 tick marks on a ruler? Oh, I remember. This looks just like a fraction number line. We have used a number line to represent fractions. Here we have 0, 1/4, 2 1/4, 3 1/4, and 1 whole. We're going to use the same pattern as we look at tick marks on a ruler.
Okay, so that's connection to number lines. Any questions on that? Okay, let's take a look at our first task. We're going to practice labeling the pattern, okay? So this is a ruler that has shown from 0 to 3 1/4 inches. We're going to label this pattern. Please get your pens ready to write with me. We start at 0. We notice that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces between 0 and 1. So we're going to label each of these spaces as a fourth. So 0, 1/4, 2/4. I am writing, you are writing. 3/4, 1 inch. We also know that 2/4 is the same as 1/2. So when it's on this tick mark here, we can call this 1/4 or 2/4, or we can call it 1/2. They mean the same. Okay? And then that pattern just continues. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 1 whole. And we're going to continue. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 1 whole. And again, we also know that 2/4 is the same as 1/2. Let's continue that pattern. We're at 2, so now it would be 2 and 1/4, 2 and 2/4, 2 and 3/4, and then 1 whole. Yes, Levin.
Wouldn't we just stop at the 1 inch?
If your object were that small, sure. Like if I wanted to measure this Post-it, yeah, I might use 1 inch. But if I wanted to measure this bag of gummy bears, that's way bigger than 1 inch. So we're going to have to know how the pattern works. Okay? Sure. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hold on. I gotta get it for you. There you go. Hi. That's amazing. Okay. Thank you very much. Do you want to talk to them really quick?
I can say hi.
Okay. Mr. Nelson just dropped off your model, a sample of the car that you will be designing. Woo woo. And there he is.
Hey guys. Yeah, 1976 Corvette Stingray, just if you want to know. But
There you go.
there's a lesson on Seesaw for you, exactly how to design or how to use Tinkercad so that we can cut out one of these. So
Beautiful.
it's really kind of cool, and then we'll glue them all together.
Awesome.
So hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you later.
Say thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye. All right. So there you go, guys. You're starting to see your pieces of your car. And guess what? You're going to have to measure in inches how far your car went. So if you don't know how to measure 1/4 inch at home, somebody's going to beat you. So make sure you're paying attention. Okay. Back to it. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. We're at 3. And then the pattern just keeps going over and over and over. We're at 3 and now 1/4. And then it would keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going. Okay. Any questions about this pattern? Okie doke. Let's take a look at slide 6, please. Says line up the object correctly. Okay. Grab the object, please. It is a push pin. I didn't mean to change the size of it. There we go. Let's drag it to the ruler and we're going to have to line it up, which means I'm going to have to turn my object. So I'm going to lay my object flat so that it is parallel with my ruler. And I'm going to put it right there at that edge so it lines up with 0. Go ahead and line up your push pin, please. We're going to measure all the way to the tip of this push pin here. So it's right there, and take a look. This object is 1 inch. So we're going to fill in the word. This object is exactly 1 inch. And that's how you measure an object. Questions on that one? Does everybody understand how to turn the object with that rotation arrow symbol? Make sure when you turn your object, you have it directly straight, parallel, flush with the ruler, and you have it lined up at that 0 mark. Let's take a look at slide 7. Line up the object correctly. Here's our object. It's already pretty straight for us. I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to check that I have lined up the tip of that marker with my 0, and I have. And I can see that it is all the way out here. The question is the object shorter than 1 inch or longer than 1 inch? Well, here's 1 inch. This is way longer. So let's grab that longer and place it on the line. This object is longer than 1 inch. Yes, Levin.
If I'm right, that would be 5.5 inches.
Which is 5.5. You're jumping ahead of us, sir. Well done. Well done. Okay. This is your task for the remainder of these slides. I'm going to pop you into a breakout room for 3 minutes, and I want you and your partner to work on slide 8 and slide 9. I want partner 1 to share your screen for slide 8 and show that you know how to line up an object and measure. I want partner 2 to share your screen for slide 9 and show that you know how to line up an object and measure. Okay, so partner 1, share screens for slide 8. Partner 2, share screens for slide 9.
It was not the way.
Okay. Your remainder of the slides are going to be your practice. You are going to line up the object correctly on the ruler. Some of them simply ask you to line it up, and I will be checking that you did so. Some of them are asking you to line it up and measure using the pattern that we did on slide 5. Okay, so you can look at that little rock and you can use the pattern to figure out the measurement. Okay, and write down that fractional measurement. On slide 16, there is a Mayan text. You will have to type in the name of this text into Mayan. I'd like for you to give that a shot and listen to it. I know that it says optional, so I cannot force you, but I do want you to try. And I want you to give it some time. You have more than enough time this afternoon, and listen into that text to see different examples. Okay? All right, friends, that is your task.